Assalamualaikum. My name is Siti Sufi Aisyah binti Johari and my group consists of Nuri Musami binti Muhammad Sofyan, Nur Maisuri Nashura binti Kamar Zaman and also Nurul Aina Nazira binti Abdul Halim. So today we are going to present a case study on Universiti Malaysia Pahang UMP. Firstly, the introduction. So, what is classification? Classification is the process of identifying and arranging records and archive in categories according to logically structured conventions, methods, and procedural rules represented in a classification system. So, filing system is a process which involves classification, arrangement, storage, control, and indexing of files for the purpose of retrieving when it is needed. The objective of the filing system is 3R, which is to give the right file to the right person at the right time. Filing system is important because with the records, it can be as a proof, black and white, reference, acts or controlling tools, communication tools, decision, evaluating, planning, implementation and also memory. Filing collects and preserves the required paper, records and documents for future reference. It also protects the important file from damage and loss that causes by dust, insect, water, fire and rat. It also helps to increase the efficiency of the organization or office and make sure all the works run smoothly without interruption and difficulty. Filing system can also maintain the records properly and it can also help you to purge the old records that no longer needed. Moreover, filing system can allow the insertion of additional documents without disturbing the existing order of files. It also provides guidance to the existing staff and new staff to perform their duties and responsible well. First impact of improper classification and filing system to organization are wasting time. It is because they're spending excessive amounts of time organizing disorganized file cabinets. Because they did not organize everything in a systematic manner, this will cause them to lose time trying to discover the specific files that they are looking for. The next impact is uncontrolled necessity for spaces. In addition to this, improper management of categorization and filing will result in valuable office spaces being utilized to keep an increased number of files, which will force the organization to pay higher fees for file storage. Moreover is loss of files. The files are going to be put in the wrong location since there is not a single location that outlines where the files should be put. Last but not least is the inefficiency of the staff. As a consequence to the unorganized filing system, the levels of stress experienced by employees increase because it becomes needlessly difficult for them to locate and exchange information, and the organization as a whole will become inefficient and unpleasant. So there are 4 current issues in classification and filing system. Firstly is alphabetic. Alphabetical system are the most natural and common method of arranging files. But alphabetical classification of filing is not always the fastest system and it takes a long time to find papers in large organizations. The drawback of alphabetical reporting is that misfiled documents are impossible to achieve and detect. Second is numeric. Numeric filing requires time for coding if there are no numbers already. If an automatic machine assigns numbers, a number may be changed or an unused number may be dropped. This can cause problems in the retrieval of non-current records. Next is geographical. Under this method, the files are grouped according to the location or address of the individuals or parties to which they refer. But the problem with this system is the system can only work if it is paired with an alphabetical grouping. Last but not least is subject-wise classification. In this method, all records dealing with a specific topic are taken together in a single file. There's some issue in the system which is this method is not ideal for the submission of different records. If the classification of the subject is not well known, it may become difficult to find a text. If the number of subject is greater, a comprehensive index is required.
For background information, I will talk about administrative history that established as a technical university on 16 February 2002 by the Malaysian government university. It also offers a variety of engineering and technology programs including high-level technical and vocational education and training TVET. It also ranked as one of the best research within the classification Malaysian Technical University Network and has 2 campuses which is in Pekan and Gambang. Okay, this is vision and mission, and I also put the objective that will be function as medium-term goal that university seek to accomplish. This is the organizational chart for Universiti Malaysia Pahang. Next, I will talk about the function and activities about this institution, which is first, Academic Affairs Division, which is the important department that support all the academic department and program. Second, UMP also has improved the technical and vocational education training TVET. Okay, for the second one is Department and Student and Alumni. They will be responsible to oversee the growth of students' academic careers as well as their well-being. Besides that, they also provide conducive environments such as infrastructure and financial aid for students.
Now, I will explain the analysis of the classification and filing system. There are several individuals that have been assigned responsibility for managing the filing system in Universiti Malaysia Pahang. The administrative officer is appointed as Department Records Officer. As the Department Records Officer, they ensure that legal requirements are complied with how the records management system is managed, maintained and made accessible. This Department Records Officer will be assisted by Department Records Administration Assistant. The Administrative Assistant is assigned as Department Records Administration Assistant. They are also responsible individuals for managing the filing system of UMP. They will maintain and store every public record in the department to be safe and protected. Registration, classification and preparation of records indexes will be monitored by them. Universiti Malaysia Pahang UMP uses a function activity-based classification system for its filing system. Function activity-based classification system is a type of records classification system that organizes records in accordance with the activities that are required to carry out the function of an organization. It is developed by performing an analysis of the functions and activities as well as the sub-activities and transactions that are carried out by a public office. The specified functions, activities, sub-activities and transactions should be classified and organized hierarchically. The hierarchy developed shall not exceed 4 levels. So here is the example of the function activity-based classification system of UMP. There is the methodology applied by Universiti Malaysia Pahang or UMP for designing its classification system. Firstly, function and activity of UMP are analyzed by identifying listing of the functions, activities, sub-activities and transactions. Next, develop file classification hierarchy. List the activities under each function that have been identified. Then, establish the vocabulary control. The vocabulary used for each level of the hierarchy must include the levels below it as compiled in the encyclopedia. Then, provision of classification description. All of the stated function and activities should have a detailed description. Lastly, prepare file classification code. The code is used with the combination of alphabet, number and symbol. Furthermore, it has been analyzed that the process of developing a classification system has several obstacles to be overcome. Firstly, it can be challenging to differentiate between the function and activities. This is due to the fact that members of the staff, particularly those who have no prior experience with managing records, will be unable to distinguish between the functions, activities, sub-activities and transactions that belong in each level of the hierarchy. Besides, the members of the staff who were responsible for developing the classification system struggle when it comes to filing record. They found it challenging to keep track of the large number of different methods, codes and hierarchical levels. Lastly, structures or components could be ambiguous, leading to the creation of an artificial and logical model that might be a realistic depiction of reality. If an organizational structure is tied to a classification group, there is a possibility that problems will occur. The type of coding system used by Universiti Malaysia Pahang is a block number system. UMP adopts a uniform file classification in which each file is identified by an abbreviation of its full name followed by a block number code. The block number system includes a top-level classification based on the function or activity of UMP. The higher levels are for more broad functions or activities, whilst the lower level are for more specific activity. In UMP, the code number range from 100 to 500 is for housekeeping records, whereas code number 600 and above are used for the records of UMP's functional activity. The following is an example of the block number system used by UMP along with the meaning of each number and symbol. First manual referred to create the coding system is classification for public agencies that are developed by the National Archive of Malaysia. In the manual, it states that the National Archive of Malaysia sets the number block system for all housekeeping files ranging from 100 to 500 to be used by all public office, while code number 600 and above will be used for the functional file of a public agency. Apart from that, the manual developed by the Universiti Malaysia's Pahang Registry Department also includes guidance that follows the procedure prepared by the National Archive of Malaysia. In this UMP manual, a concise explanation of the specific code number that should be used for various functional and housekeeping records is provided. Another manual prepared by the UMP that is used as a reference is Guideline for the Use of File Classification.
Guidelines for the internal users. Internal users can refer to the guidelines related to the filing system that have been provided by the Universiti Malaysia Pahang. One of the guidelines provided by UMP is Garis Panduan Pengurusan Rekod dan File. This guideline has the most important part of the filing system that can lead the internal users to learn, practice and understand. These guidelines is accurate as they are issued and subject to further change by the UMP. Internal users can get all the guidelines about the filing system from the UMP official website. The arrangement of file for access and retrieval. The arrangement of Universiti Malaysia Pahang's file for access and retrieval is using the numerical order. The records are arranged by document numbers. Besides, this method of arranging the file for access and retrieval is suited with the filing system of UMP, which use serial number to manage the file using pin-printed numbers. It works best for records that are assigned a numbers of correction. The file will be given a specific numbers and the papers are placed in a strict numerical order. For example, number 100 for pentadbiran. So all the related and correction about the pentadbiran is placed in file numbers 100. In order for authorized officers that wanted to access the files, they need to know the title of the files and also the serial number of the files. Then, they can search the files following the title and serial number at the shelf of cabinet. The files are arranged vertically and the backbone of the file is outside, so it is easy for them to access the files without spending more time on searching it. Next is retrieval. To retrieve back the files, the staff just need to take off the file on the box or trolley that was provided by the UMP for the file that has been returned back but still not organized at its place. But in order to borrow the same file again, it is essential to fill up the form and also the file movement of the card. The file storage procedures applied. When the current files are not in use, they will normally be stored in a record office or secure room. The file storage procedures that apply at Universiti Malaysia Pahang have three procedures. The first type of files that will be stored in file storage is an OP file. The procedures to store an OP file is by storing it separately with the inactive files, inactive records, and classified file. Then after finishing separating the types of the file, an authorized officers, staff of Universiti Malaysia Pahang will register and bring the open files to the special room or secure room for storing it in the shelf according to the file references numbers. The second is classified file. The procedures of storing top secret. The documents of top secret files will be maintained in a separate registry. The officer is only by person authorized to handle the top secret files. But then, if the work volumes do not justify a separate top secret registry, then an appropriate authorized officer will carry out top secret registry duties. After registering the files will be immediately stored in a storage room. All the files of top secret will be stored in a safety deposit box with code key or combination numbers. The authorized officer then will write each of the password of the safety deposit box in the special book and store it at a safe and isolated place. The third is file closure. File closure is a process of terminating an action on a file caused by the completion of a transaction on it or its thickness factors or other factors causing the transaction to terminate. Files should be closed as soon as they are no longer needed in the day-to-day operations of a office. File closure will be brought out and isolated from the file room, and the file closure will be transferred to the unit archive Perpustaka UMP for store and preservation. The circulation of the file. The file movement card used by the Universiti Malaysia Pahang to control the movement file. The card needs to be inserted into the file between the minutes paper and the attachment. It needs to be done in the registry room. Second, when the file is requested by the officers for the action, the card needs to take it out from the file and then write the file movement details on the cards. Third, the information about the officer, date and time, and also when the file will be returned. Every information needs to be recorded on the file movement card. Fourth, when the file is returned back to the registry, the file movement cards need to be inserted back into the file. And lastly, the file movement card should be put back in the file after the file get returned back.
Next, we have the sample of housekeeping or administrative file, which is classified start from 100 until 500. I give you two examples, which is first 100 pengurusan pentadbiran and the second one is from 300 pengurusan aset kerajaan, and the rest we follow like the hierarchical step. Next, we go to description pentadbiran, which is you can see they have description about the function, activity, sub-activity and the transaction. Now we moving on to task 1, which is a sample of functional file, which is from 600 until 800. This is the sample. 600 is pengurusan akademik and 700 is hal ehwal pelajar dan alumni. Next, this is the description of functional file, which is simply similar about all the sample that I put before this.
So next is the recommendation regarding filing system. Creating a fundamental file plan is the first and most important step in the process of having a successful filing system. Planning is crucial because it ensures that everyone engaged has a shared understanding of purpose and goals, sets direction and controls, offers rules, and outlines the components of a project. The plan elements in logical order are assign responsibility, obtain support, collect information, which is inventory records, analyze records, developing a filing system, implement system, training users, and also monitor implementation, follow up and revise system.
In conclusion, some argue that required categorization does not work, but in Universiti Malaysia Pahang, they use a good method by using proper classification and filing system. It is because organizing all the important and unimportant record of vital are one of the resources in our organization. That's all. Thank you.